Hello and welcome to the BuildASoil Family Farms YouTube series. This is episode 6. Today I'm going to show you how we prune and drop cucumbers. In the back of the greenhouse we have slicing cucumbers. They are really tall. They've reached the ceiling already, so we need to drop them. But because I can't do that without dropping this row as well, the pickling cucumbers aren't all the way to the top yet, but we've harvested from them. So we are able to prune them and drop them along with the big ones in the back. We've had some crazy weather lately. We actually just had a huge snowstorm. It's probably 70 degrees outside. Inside the greenhouse, we're running about 70 degrees also. So I think that the greenhouse isn't having to work as hard today. In our last episode, we did that ferment with Miles. We have it here. It's been about 2 weeks now, so I think we're going to get ready to start pHing it, but stick around. At the end of the video we're going to take a closer look at that. I have Sean down there. He has been pruning. As you can see, we've done all of these. We've taken the pruning all the way up to the fruit here, so when we drop them you'll see that the stalk will be completely clear of leaf and anything that can get moldy as it sits on the ground. So come with me, let me show you down this way. Today I'm going to be showing you how we prune our cucumbers. First of all, we have this beautiful cucumber plant. We've been harvesting off of these for about 2 weeks now, very slowly, but as you can see the production is picking up. Our main structure is almost like the tomato plant, except for it's a little more simplified, I think, with a cucumber plant. It's very straightforward. You're always going to have three things. You're going to have your leaf, your sucker, and then this was a fruit that we harvested this morning. And as you can see, that's what it would look like if it had a fruit on it. Again, just like a tomato sucker, it's going to grow a whole new plant. So some people grow them on the ground, and then these break off and just grow more and more and more. When we're growing them vertically like we do and trellising them, we really just want to make sure we're sending all that growth hormone to the top. We want top growth, not side growth. The way we do it, it keeps our greenhouse clean, easy to manage, take care of pests and all that when we grow them vertically like this. So when I'm pruning the cucumber plant, I like to come in and we remove these suckers because we don't want to grow any more extra plant. I just want my fruit as it grows vertical. On a regular prune, I would come in, just take suckers off, and I would attach my top up here with a clip. For dropping, we like to remove all plant matter all the way up to where the fruit is. We take off the leaf, sucker, and these ones that are holding our bottom clip, I definitely like to give a little bit extra to, so that that clip doesn't just want to slide off right away. I'm just going to go through and take off any other part of the plant and leaving just the main stem. These little things are called tendrils. They're really awesome. I think basically they're just because it's a binding plant, it provides support for itself like out in nature. But here they kind of save our butts when the tops haven't been clipped up and they grab onto things, and it's pretty awesome. But they're not really necessary to have on the plant, so I typically clean them up when we're doing it for dropping. As I mentioned before, when you drop your plant, eventually your stalk's going to be laying on the ground. So any plant material that's kind of just hanging there and sitting on the ground has the potential for mold and pests and anything else that might want to come in and help break down any of this organic plant matter. So I like to make sure that we got everything off of there. Leave the fruit, but remove the leaf and the sucker. And it is okay to have something resting on the ground while it's finishing ripening. Basically that's it. As you go through, when you get to where you're at here, we drop them. So once we finish out this row, we'll go down to the end and I'll show you how we drop the cucumber so that we give it more room to grow. When I am doing this task, one of the things I've definitely done before is cut my string. And that's why when you're clipping up your cucumbers, it is important to be under this little node right here, because as the pickle grows, it grows like kind of down, and that can hold your plant. So if at some point you do cut your string by accident, these clips are already supporting, but if you've got something to hold it, that really helps. But just being careful is pretty much the main thing there. The other thing I've done is accidentally cut my stalk. When I get going really fast, that's devastating because your whole plant's done at that point. So yeah, you're just kind of really paying attention as you're doing it, but you can definitely get in a rhythm and be able to go super quick. There's many ways of trellising. I think Connor at Neversink Farms, he has a really cool system that he uses that makes it so you don't have to get on a ladder and be moving it back and forth the whole time. I definitely want to look into the future into investing in something like that, because this is a pretty tiresome job. Some of the plants weigh 50 pounds, 40 pounds, and you know, in the middle of summer when it's 90 degrees in here, it's really hot up there. Eventually, I think we will move to another trellising system, but for now, it really works for us. Because we grow them vertically, we do it all season long, all the way up until September. You can't just let them grow, right? They're gonna go all the way to the top and then where? So this system was created to be able to bring the top of the plant all the way down so that you can just allow continual growth all year. Eventually we bring them down the aisle this way. We have a pole here that we haven't installed yet. It wraps around the pole and then we bring them back down the aisle. Cucumbers usually end up being, you know, the full, like probably I'd say like 40 feet or so. They wrap and they go almost back down to the end. They just keep growing all season. Let's get started. Basically, I like to have 2 people here. We always got to have someone down there to hold the plant, and you kind of have to really work together when there's a lot of fruit and a lot of weight on the plant. So Sean's gonna hold on to that plant. We have these rollers and strings from Johnny's. If I clip this open, it brings the string down. Now I'm gonna bring my roller completely off the rail, move it down here. And as I go down, I like to keep the perfect distance, like the same distance between each plant. You can see it's sitting on the other plant. I don't really want that. So I'm just gonna come back up here and I'm gonna roll it up a little bit more until it clicks into place. I test the tension, and now you can see it's off the ground. We're keeping that distance, but still not having all our plant matter or anything on the ground, if possible. Sometimes it happens. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that to every single one of these cucumbers in this row today. I'm gonna get up there, I'm gonna drop it down, we're gonna move it over. I'm looking for pretty even distance between each plant. We need to be able to get in there and prune, harvest and spray when we're spraying. Those are the things that I'm gonna think about as I'm doing this, is just even spacing and not dropping everything straight to the ground. When you drop the plant, you wanna do it as the plant falls. If you're forcing it too fast, you have potential to either rip your roots out of the ground or snap your stalk. So when you're doing that, I like to just let the plants fall as they fall and allow them to do what they would naturally do. That's why Sean was down here though, is just to make sure that they don't completely smash into the ground and then potentially break. I've done it myself multiple times and broke plants and dropped plants, and it's just been a mess. So I want to show you guys how we do our slicing cucumbers. We'll run down on how we prune those. So thank you so very much. All right guys, so here we have our slicing cucumbers. Every year that I've been here at the farm, I've done 100 row feet of slicing and 100 row feet of pickling. As much as I produce in 100 row feet is just too much to sell. I mean, like we have so much, I probably pull down 50, 60 pounds a day. If you can see down here, I harvested today. I posted a reel on the Instagram page about it, but I harvested already today, and you can see how many more cucumbers we have. They just grow so insane. But today we're gonna have to drop them. We're gonna have a little bit of fruit laying on the ground for just a short amount of time. As you can see, they're pretty much all to the top. It's definitely time to drop them. Otherwise, these tendrils are gonna start grabbing onto the most random stuff in the greenhouse, and it makes it just a longer, harder job to go through and drop once they've done that. So it's pretty important on timing. So on the slicing cucumber, the structure is pretty much the same as the pickling, but sometimes your slicing cucumber will throw, you know, 2, 3 fruits out of an area here, instead of a pickling one is always just one. So I'm just paying attention as I'm pruning so that I'm not cutting off anything major, because you want to just go in and slice. If I have a lot of fruit on the bottom like this, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing that we did with the pickling, but I'm going to leave the fruit. So I'm just going to start chopping. I like to always start at the bottom, but that way you don't miss anything. Sometimes, you know, like I said, you want to leave these little curved pieces here, because that's what's holding your clip. And when there's a lot of weight, you need support there. We're not going to go too far up on these, because we don't need to drop a whole ton right now, but we do need to get them away from the ceiling. But Sean's gonna go ahead right now, finish going through this. While Sean is pruning up the plants, I'm gonna show you around the greenhouse a little bit. I wanted to be sort of transparent in this moment and talk about, you know, some watering issues we've had in the greenhouse. I think I mentioned before that I haven't used drip line all that often. I'm really particular about hand watering. So this year we did some drip line, and it seems like this entire row here got overwatered, looking a lot better than it did right now. But one of the things that we were dealing with was some of these leaves were curling up quite a bit. It was kind of like just all over. The whole plant was kind of like shutting down. And so I'm seeing right now that it's perky. I basically haven't watered these in about a week. I can see that the leaves are starting to come back up, but as you can see, they are doing really well. So we kind of came out of that situation. Here we have the big Dinas. They really are so beautiful. I took some home and did fried green tomatoes the other night, my daughter's favorite meal, so they were delicious. Oh, look, a ladybug. Love it. Whenever I see nature bring that into the greenhouse for me, I'm really excited, because I really do love having the ladybugs around. I wanted to plant cover crop here. I did so in all these 9-foot beds across the way. I love cover crop. They can take nitrogen out of the air and feed it to your plant if possible. They can also remove excess nitrogen. We also have a toad in here, and he loves to live in the cover crop too. So I'm having a hard time chopping and dropping right now because I don't want to like take his home away. This is the Marvori. And I mean, they are throwing off so much fruit. I'm really excited about these ones from the very beginning. The amount of flowers and fruit that are coming off of them are just really cool. Basically what happened was we hadn't changed some settings from last year in the greenhouse, and the plants were sitting at 90% humidity for almost a whole week at nighttime. So I definitely was a little sad seeing things get weird in the greenhouse. It's really kind of taught me a lesson to just kind of work through it, let the plants tell me what they need, and let them come out of their funk. And I'm really happy I did, because we have so much production. Everything's looking beautiful. A couple more here. This is the Berkeley tie-dye. Woo, it's looking so pretty. I think these green stripes will stay green and the rest will turn red. So they're a beautiful tomato. Sakura is the name of this cherry tomato. I'm just like so impressed. They look absolutely beautiful. Over here, guys, we have our basil. Everything's looking so good, and it's going to be sold this week. So we start harvesting and selling basil. And if you look down this aisle, it's my favorite thing. Look how many flowers are down this aisle. Amazing. This is the ferment that we did on video a couple weeks ago with Miles. Last week, Miles stopped by the greenhouse, and we were able to kind of just like get some of that smell out, and it was super sweet still, so we could smell the molasses. And he mentioned that it needed to go, you know, obviously a little bit longer. I've got to go get some pH strips. We'll start doing that soon, and we'll have that on video. We're gonna have Miles back down, and we're gonna test it, and we're gonna talk about it. He's going to show me how to apply it to the farm. There was a lot of questions on the YouTube video, so I think that we're going to be able to address some of those on our next video. We'll pull up some of your questions and definitely try to get to as many as we can, because the questions you have are definitely the questions I had too. So I'm just going to crack this here and smell it, and whew, it is, so now it's not smelling so sweet. So now it's smelling very fermenty. I don't know if you've ever bought a ferment product from the grocery store or whatever, but it smells like really stinky, nasty feet. I definitely didn't even have to open this. I can smell it. It's changing every day. It's been a different smell. So now that it's been a couple weeks, I really think it's going to be time for us to start checking that pH, make sure it's dropping. And as it does, then we know that things are going well. We'll have Miles back out and answer some of those questions and show you how to apply it to your farm if you make one for you. Yeah, here we have the starts that are going to be going to the farmers market this weekend. We have so many starts here. If you are local, you can come down and pick out whatever you need. It's really exciting to see people take home really healthy, happy starts, fed only the best nutrients. Yeah, it makes me feel really, really good. So once again, if you have any questions or comments, I love reading them and answering questions, hearing what you all have to say about it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.